I don't really know where to start. Literally, he's a massive Oxford fan from when he was born. Obviously, my husband Lewis, his dad, has been brought up to love Oxford. So it started from when he was first born. His first item of clothing was a little Oxford baby grow. Back in, it was October half term, Kyle, he had a cold and we just thought it was general cold, and we soon realised actually he's literally like not right at all. Called 999. And they came out, took him into hospital, and they wasn't sure what it was. They just said, oh, he hasn't got no spots, it could be viral, the standard stuff. But I knew deep down it was something more than that. It just wasn't like, his lips have never swollen before, and he couldn't even focus on anything. He didn't want to watch anything. The lights were irritating him. And anyway, we actually got sent home because they thought, oh, have antibiotics, but if suddenly he comes out in spots, blah, 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 bring him back. Got him home, and that night Oxford United were playing actually on the telly, and he was originally going to the match, and obviously we couldn't because he was poorly, so we paid for it from the iFollow. And normally Kyle doesn't stop talking when Oxford's on. He's like somebody in your ear constantly talking, and he just was so lethargic. I sort of started checking his body at the end of the match, and then I started seeing these little dots appear on his hands and feet. And then Lewis just took him straight in the car, straight back to A&E, and that's where he stayed for over a month. They didn't know what it was. We then knew it was serious because we got put into our own room in the emergency area, and the next minute we're having all these different specialists coming in from everywhere. I can't even remember the amount of people we see. And then they brought the intensive care team in because his health, he just was deteriorating. And then the next minute we got told we were going round to the ICU and HDU units because Kyle couldn't breathe properly. He was struggling with his breathing. His hands and his feet started to swell. And the only way I can describe it is like somebody had poured boiling hot water over him, is the only way I can describe it. And he just kept saying, Mummy, my feet are hurting, they're hurting. And literally just the lightest touch, he was in agony. But he said they're really hot and burning. He could hardly talk. When we were trying to talk to him, he couldn't really respond to us. It was scary because they didn't know what it was. You name it, they were doing everything they can. They were amazing at the JR. I can't thank them enough for their quick response and the amount of people we see come in and check him over. And it was a couple of days later until they realised that actually he wasn't progressing, and that's when they suddenly realised on a mark on his body that they thought it might be this reaction called Stevens-Johnson syndrome in TENS, which is rare. It's not very common. So it's where your body does look like it's been burnt all over and it's killing you from inside and out. And with Kyle, he had a real bad spell of it, and they didn't know if he was going to pull through. Which obviously is a mother's worst nightmare to ever hear that. Most people get this through a reaction, but it turned out that Kyle got this through catching a cold and through a bacteria called, I might pronounce it wrong, but called Mycoplasma pneumoniae, which is a type of a pneumonia. But they did say it's like 1 in a million the way that he got this. So it's very rare, and in fact, some of the doctors has never seen this before, so that was quite hard. But then we just got told that they didn't know if he was going to make it, and we had to just wait hour by hour, and that was really hard.
Just how much has Kyle's love for football and Oxford United been a real positive driving force in helping through this recovery?
It really has, because I think if it weren't for Oxford, Kyle is struggling. We all are struggling mentally with everything. It's been really difficult. We had one friend, Ollie, who made a call, and we managed to get a video from Cam just sent to us, and it was like a little message, "Oh, here, you're not well in hospital." And at the time, the one thing because although Kyle wasn't responsive, he went, "Cam's poorly as well," because at the time Cam was a bit poorly. And he's like, oh, I'm poorly like Cam. And obviously it's like, yeah, mate, yeah, you know, Cam's getting better, you'll get better. So it was a real booster even. And then the next minute he was like, you know, lethargic again. But it was just really nice having that little voice like recording. And we just kept playing it now and then, just saying, oh, look, whose voice is this? To try and get him when he wasn't really being that responsive.
And I believe Cam and Simon Eastwood came to visit Kyle at the hospital during his recovery.
Yeah.
Just how important was that moment for Kyle?
Oh, it was amazing.
You know, everybody at the club wants to wish you, you know, all the best, and we know how brave you've been. All the players are thinking about you, mate, and the managers and everybody at the club. So there you go, mate. It's a little bag, you can open it, and that's for you, mate.
It's nice you can use your hands now, isn't it, Kyle?
Nice.
Oh,
wow.
There you go, mate.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Obviously the club come to me and obviously let me know, and I found out he was a big season ticket holder, and I felt like it was important for me and East to go down and see him when he was in hospital. It wasn't nice to see and obviously to hear about it, and yeah, the right thing to do was to go down and see him and his family, and just to see a smile on his face when we got there. He was very poor at the time, but yeah, it was great to see him, and it was great to see him with a smile on his face. And when we obviously found out that he was a big Oxford fan and that he loves me and Eastie, and it was a no-brainer for us to go down. We shot down there and we spent a while with him, and we gifted him, I think it was a shirt and a few little bits, and it was, like you say, it was just great to see a smile on his face. And then, you know, we did say to him, look, you can come down to the training ground and be a mascot as well, and you can meet the boys and see what it's like and where we train, etc. when you're better. And you know, he's come in and with a smile on his face. It's fantastic to see. You can see how much football means to him. He's a big Oxford fan, and to see him smiling and getting around the place and really enjoying it. I was playing ping pong with him for a while, and he was made up. He really enjoyed it.
Kyle this season had a very special opportunity as well to come out as a mascot. Could you just describe that day and that moment?
It was amazing to see his face. Some of the photos I've seen from the day, he's just glowing. It just meant so much to him, and he loves Cam. He loves all the players, but Cam especially, obviously, he just thinks he's amazing. I just remember seeing his face when Cam, Eastie and Luke at the time come in. He was just starstruck because this is idols, you know, and yeah, I don't think he really said much at all while we were there, but that just meant so much. And I think they could see how big of an Oxford fan he was, because his whole room was just Oxford football, literally football. In fact, when they turned up, he had the football kits on, he's got the football duvets, the pillows, the cuddlies, the towels, pictures stuck all over the wall. It was literally just all football. And that just really gave him that boost, and it was also a tool for us as a family to use, like when he is having his down days.
And of course you're here today at the training ground.
Yeah.
We've seen Kyle running around and having a great time.
Yeah.
But just update us on where Kyle is in his recovery, and is he back coming and watching the club that he loves?
Yes, so while we was in the hospital, we literally, even though he could hardly do anything, we had it on the iFollow when we could, even though we couldn't fully see it, and we had it listening. And as soon as he come out of the hospital, first thing we, can I go to the match tomorrow? And we're like, mate, you've just literally come out of hospital, like you need to slow it down. He went to the match at the weekend away. He loves going to all matches. He'll go to every single game, and yeah, he's definitely back on the road. Going to the games he loves, singing in the crowd, you know, cheering the lads on, and he's always positive, no matter what the outcome is of the match, and that he's always sees a positive.
Well, Kyle is such a inspirational story. I'm sure that him being here today at the training ground and more of the players seeing him and understanding him, it will act as an inspiration for them as well. I mean, thank you as well for sharing your family story and talking through those emotions, because I can only understand how difficult it must be. And from everyone here at Oxford United, we're so proud of Kyle that he is coming through this, and to be able to support him through this is such an amazing experience. So thank you for coming in, and despite everything he's been through, hopefully we're on the road to recovery.
Yeah, no, he's doing amazing, you know. He's doing what he loves again and going to watch the football, and we just got to keep an eye on him. And thank you so much for everything, and to Cam, and for my friend Alicia for, you know, contacting. I know that there were others as well, like family and friends who also contacted. You probably got bombarded. But yeah, it's just really nice to know that, you know, there's so many people out there care, because Kyle is such a positive boy.